Thank you so much for joining Dialogic Dialogue on the topic, the implementation of artificial intelligence for research, teaching, learning in African higher education institutions. We are very honored to have you here to join this dialogue. Of course, you know that dialogue takes place between just two persons. And I'm very, very happy that we are more than two. I specifically want to welcome our eminent professors here with us. For want of time, we'll continue. Probably when they want to contribute, they can introduce themselves. So we want to thank you so much. Dialogic Dialogue is sponsored by Dialogic Academic Presses, which is a division of Dialogic Solutions Limited. Dialogic Solutions Limited was founded by 22 PTDF PhD alumni, and they are focusing on national impact projects. And the belief behind Dialogic Academic Press is to give voices to scholars, researchers in Africa so that they can join the global conversation on knowledge creation, knowledge curation, and knowledge consumption. So the academic journals are open access, and it is there to amplify the voices of Africans in the current knowledge economy. So the voices of Africans and the perspectives of Africans need to be heard. And it's also why we are having this dialogic dialogue, because we believe that having conversations and understanding where we can focus and collaborate together is the way to go. So I will give to my, just to introduce myself so that I can give to my colleague to introduce himself and also give us the rules of engagement today. My name is Dr. Chukwuma Ogbonnaya. I'm an academic at Loughborough University. I'm a fan of application of technologies, including for teaching, research, and innovation. I'm currently the program leader of engineering management at Wolfson School of Mechanical, Electrical, and Manufacturing Engineering, Loughborough University. I yield to my colleague to introduce himself. Dr. Atieme, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ogbonnaya. My name is Dr. Atieme Ogbolosingha, and I'm an academic at Imperial College London, and I do teaching. I'm a biochemist by training. Aside my core training as a biochemist, I also do research on cerebral malaria, and I also coordinate a master's course at Imperial there, which is the entrepreneurship, business, and innovation talks at Imperial College. So it's my pleasure to be here. Today, our aim, just like Dr. Ogbonnaya mentioned, our aim is for us to have a dialogue, to have a conversation on a topical discourse, that is the use of AI. And to ensure that we have a smooth engagement today, our aim is to allow everyone the opportunity to share their thoughts, to share their opinion on the use of digital platforms that I mentioned quite rapidly. So to contribute, we encourage you to indicate by raising your hand. And whilst you are not speaking, if you could please mute your mic. That way we can have a very organized session. Whilst this is an open conversation where there is no right or wrong answer, we encourage everyone to be respectful, to be issue-based, such that we can have an enriching conversation. We have a highly structured session where we have specific time allocated to specific topics. Today, our aim is more or less like aiming to whet the appetite of everyone to ensure that we can actually start the conversation. So it's not going to be an exhaustive conversation. Of course, most of us here are very experienced, and we do appreciate that conversations of this nature could take hours and hours. However, we strongly encourage everyone to make their contributions concisely, and of course, we can take things forward from there. So with that said, we'll move on to the first topic. Dr. Chukwuma, if you could move to the next slide. Thank you. So, what we've done is we have created a prompt just to ensure that we have narrowed the conversations. Dr. Ogbonnaya and myself, we are not necessarily the people that will be taking ownership of the session. Basically, all the participants here are encouraged to make contributions while we try to ensure that the rules are being followed, and of course we can come in at some point as well. So the first prompt we have here is: the use of AI will reduce the cognitive ability of the user. So this argument, of course, with the emergence of AI, some people do think that using AI could potentially affect the cognitive ability of the user. That is one school of thought. There's also another argument, is that AI is just a tool that can improve the user's productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness. So our conversation will center around this. So basically, we'll aim to unpack how either or both of these arguments are useful to ensure that we can still maintain cognitive ability while still achieving productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness. So I will leave the yield the mic, and anyone who would like to start by sharing their thought. Whichever argument you will stand on, feel free. But of course, in discourse, we do appreciate that people can move. It's fluid, can move from argument one to argument two. But we just wanted to start by opening the floor to the participants.
Just to also say that you can also show how the two arguments can be combined. So it's not standing at the extreme ends of the spectrum. So just express your thought on this topic so that like Dr. Atieme said, that we can start unpacking the realities of AI and removing the myths around it. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, doctors and professors around.
Please go ahead.
My name is Professor Muhammad Amin Isa from the Department of Accounting, Bayero University, Kano. I am currently the Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences here in Bayero University, Kano. There's no doubt that AI has become something and essential now in this current time, whether you are an academic or in administration, or even in practice, or even if you are doing technical job. I think AI has come to support whoever is doing whatever in this world right now. Of course, the two arguments have a center path. They also have, the starting path. AI definitely. In recent times, I've had the opportunity of using 1, 2, or 3 tools, AI tools, and that have significantly improved my productivity administratively and academically. But of course, because the AI does the thinking for you, that could affect our cognitive development, because it is through this critical thinking and critical thinking that we continue to expand our horizon and thinking and thinking capacity and what we can do and what we cannot do. When AI is there to do that for you, then of course some of us may relax, and the expansion, the growth in our cognitive development may slow down. However, what AI also does can be seen to be complementing our cognitive experiences and development. We also learn from what the AI gives us in terms of output when we put queries. So I want to consider it as two paths, depending on how individuals are and what individuals can do and what individuals have taken AI to be. Because it can be two ways. You can use it and you also learn from the output. Like, let me tell you frankly, I have learned one or two things from some of the research AIs. I've been using them to give me some guide in one or two issues, which ordinarily may take me several days or weeks to do the search, to be able to identify those issues. But the AI will quickly give you and it's with this sequence of output, one also is able to develop his own thinking. Of course, if you rely on it 100% without trying to interfere with your own cognitive development, then definitely is going to affect your growth cognitive wise. But if you take it as a complementary tool, or the relationship goes two ways, you learn from it, you also take it as a support. Okay. And I think with that, if you take it in that order, I think the use of AI will definitely improve output, but also enhance cognitive development. So
Thank
this
you.
is my own position about it.
Thank you so much, Prof. That's really a thoughtful point. I think the key theme that seems to be emerging is the fact that it can be used, but how do we use it critically? I think that's the key. That's the key point. I can see another hand raised. I'll just move on to give you the floor. Wilson Sunday.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wilson Sunday. I'm a research student at Robert Gordon University in Scotland. Yeah, there's no doubt that AI has come to become an effective tool in use today. And I would want to put it this way: AI will always remain a tool until we decide to change it. I mean, depending on the usage. When we allow AI to think for us, AI is no longer a tool. It's now replacing our cognitive thinking. It's now replacing our cognitive reasoning. But if we use AI as a tool to improve our work, then AI remains a tool. And yeah, it would make our work more efficient or optimize whatever we are doing. Because one thing about AI is that it takes us to a particular perspective that we may not have been able to get to because of probably our limited time, or something like that. But AI will expose us to another perspective of whatever. Maybe if you are making a research on a particular topic and you ask AI will take, it gathers a lot of information from different sources. So those sources, you may not have been able to reach them, but with AI you can actually I think I can actually think about this. But now AI is not thinking for you. You are using AI to improve your work, to make your work more efficient, to optimize it, to make it faster. But it's not meant to replace your thinking. AI cannot make decisions for you. For instance, if you want to design a system, you know the parameters you need for that system. You know the data you want to use. AI cannot provide those data for you cognitively. I mean, it's not like AI can. Of course, AI can generate something for you. For instance, if you want to design a circuit, there's no circuit you want to design and the AI cannot do for you. But the thing is, when you are done designing with AI, with that circuit in implementation, give you what you want. In reapplication, with that circuit actually give you what you want. Now, that's where your thinking comes in. Now, you tell AI, this is what I want to do. AI helps you do it. Or you provide a sketch, now AI helps you complete it. But when we start using AI to replace that our thinking, Now we are no longer making use of AI in an efficient way. So I think the balance should be how we should use AI. We cannot make do without AI because it has become part of our lives. It's not just part of any sector of our life. It has become the whole part of our life. In everything we do today, AI is getting involved in almost all of them. So the question should be, how do we use AI more effectively so that it does the work it is meant to do and not replace our cognitive thinking. People working in industries are thinking, with the rise of AI. In short, the first thing I heard, the first time I heard about AI, people were saying, it was when people were saying, they might start losing their job because of the introduction of AI. But the thing is that AI may have replaced some jobs, but more jobs has been created because of AI. Because people now, like create jobs, okay, you need to use AI to do this. If you cannot use the tools to do something, like if you cannot use AI to do to do something today, you are less efficient than someone. In short, no matter how intelligent, no matter how smart you are, if you cannot make use of the tools available in the market today to complete tasks, you will be less efficient than the ones that maybe they are probably not that intelligent, but they know how to use the AI tools. So it should be the question, like what we should be working on should be, how do we use AI to be more effective so that it doesn't replace our cognitive thinking? Because if it does replace our cognitive thinking,
Thank
it may
you.
our lives.
Thank,
Thank you.
thank you, Wilson. I think that's a very important point. How do we use AI? It's not more about if we should use AI today. I think before I pass on the mic to engineer, I think um, engineer Ibia, I just wanted to say that, for example, what the last speaker has said is we use AI to fast track to help us. We are not actually giving AI our thinking, rather we are using AI to fast track what we want to do. I would like us to, for the next contributor, and of course for everyone, to think a bit more in a nuanced way. For example, for an early learner, for a first year student, a second year student, a third year student, that is still at the early stage in education, we'll say is still at the liminal phase of learning, where they've still not found a niche in a specific field. And of course, you now ask this super tool, very high efficiency tool, you ask it a question and then it gives you tons and tons of information. How can such an inexperienced user navigate that complex information that has been given to it? So I would like the next person and of course everyone else to also think along that line. I think what's been established so far is the fact that AI can help us to enhance our productivity. AI can help us to ensure that things that we will usually take a lot of time to do, it will help us to make it faster. Okay, but we are talking as experienced people. How about early learners? Engineer Chris, I think I'm happy to pass on the mic to you.
Thank you very much. I'm Chris Ebia from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And thank you for provoking this discourse. It's a very timely one. And I would like to say that it's already established that AI has come to stay, and whether we like it or not, it has come to stay. And like every other technology, it's always been debated. It's always been looked at from one perspective before it's been embraced. For example, when calculator came up, it was argued that it's going to reduce people's cognitive thinking. And eventually, you discover that there are operations you want to carry out, maybe iterations, and some of them, you just have to use calculator. Now, AI is here with us. What we should be discussing is, just like the last speaker said, AI in the hand of new learners, and also dangerous people. That is for security aspect of it, concerns security concerns. But what I would rather say is this: when there are some things you can't just have control over. For example, you don't have control over the information that AI gives a first-year student or even anybody. You may not have control over it. What I advocate is this: there are certain questions There are certain assignments that are given to students that will just require them to think. That is, yes, AI can give you answer to the first or the current prime minister of a particular country or president or any information. AI can give you the answer. But there are certain applied questions that AI may not have answer to. So while we are still teaching students and carrying on our research, AI helping us to improve on our work, especially grammatical errors. For example, Grammarly is an aspect of AI. Instead of you to writing trash and pushing and publishing, and then there are some publications I read sometimes, you just see a lot of flaws in them. Now, instead of someone to publish those things, you can just plug them into something and at least edit your grammar and it's okay. But there are certain things that AI cannot do. So students should be given such questions, assignments, projects to carry out where they must be at one point or another in their methodology. There must be a stage where they just have to think. If that assignment must be concluded, if result must come out, they just have to think. So such problems or tasks should be given to students in order to make them not just to be relying, and even us, not just to be relying on AI, but also to think. Because truth is this, if we just begin to plug in everything, every design, every circuit, every whatever into AI, and then relying on what it will give us, our cognitive reasoning definitely, without argument, is going to be affected. But when at one point in time, the brain has a way it functions. When the brain is no longer being exercised, the functionality tends to reduce. The thinking, everything tends to reduce. But in as much as keep exercising your brain, just like you're exercising your physical body, the brain keeps functioning optimally. So we must be exercising ourselves on certain tasks that will take us out of AI into NI. That's our natural intelligence. That's the contribution
Thank
I have
you.
to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you, engineer. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we will move on to the next prompt. However, just to summarize the key points, I think what's emerging is the fact that AI is a useful tool that we all need to use. I think the bigger question for everyone to think is, how do we ensure that over time we don't become addicted to it? The same way people get addicted to social media, that every single thing we then pass it on to AI. And this is even more dangerous for people that are at the early phase of the academic journey. Because once you've started depending on AI early on, unlike if you've done advanced degree, you will have learned a lot. You understand basic concepts. You understand the foundation of concepts. That way, you know how to prompt AI. You know how to ask the right questions to AI to challenge AI. That element of criticality can only come if you have some foundational knowledge. And this then means that learners or institutions should be wary or think of how to actually navigate the use of AI in the institution. They have to think about policies and things that will ensure that students do not rely excessively on the use of AI and, of course, affect their learning, which in turn affects the society in the long run. These are not conclusions, these are just pointers for things for us to think a bit more about as we move on to the next prompt. I'll pass on to Dr. Ogbonnaya, who will now take on prompt B.
Thank you so much, Dr. Atieme. I think that session was a very powerful session. Like Dr. Atieme said before, these are not exhaustive. We are just starting these conversations. Let's now focus on prompt B, which has to do with the first argument is that the high cost of IT infrastructure and AI subscription limits the implementation of AI in African higher education institutions. That's one side of it. And the other argument say, if we have the will and we have articulated policies, African institutions and governments can finance and sustain IT infrastructure for AI implementation. So our conversation is now, how might AI infrastructure implementation enhance research, teaching, and learning in higher education institutions across Africa? So what can be done by institutions or government to make this accessible? Because we all agree, as one of us eloquently put it, that if you use AI to do a task and you don't use AI to do the task, the difference will be clear. So if Africa must also advance, why China, Europe, America is deepening AI infrastructure and implementation in all they do, how can Africa start doing the same? I yield the floor for us to discuss. Thank you. Please go ahead, Wilson.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak again. I think one of the major limitations we face in Africa is our is placing less importance in research compared to other things we do. I believe the reasons why the Western countries are adopting AI today is because they know how much it's going to improve their economy. But in Africa, I don't think we really pay much interest in research. We don't value. That's why you hardly see research institutions or research development centers doing well in Africa, because we don't want to commit the resource. I mean, if you commit enough resource into a research area, you should be looking at something in the future or getting a productive end. But because we don't do it, so institutions are scared. If we bring AI into our system or into our institutions, what are we gaining at the end of the day? So I don't think it's just because of the cost of the, like what I'm saying is the reason most African countries may probably be scared of implementing AI infrastructures in their in whatever we do or in our educational institutions is not just because of the cost, but because the end product may not be there. We are not really convinced, because let me talk from the business aspect of it. If I want to embark on a business and I know that at the end of this business I may not hit a particular gain I'm looking into, then I will not have the motivation to do it. That's where I'm coming from. I feel like one of the reasons why they don't want to invest it is not because of the cost of the AI. Because if institutions want to maybe subscribe to a particular AI tool, they can afford it. And if they even ask the students to pay, they will pay. But there's this thing, another I think there's this bias that we still have in Africa, that AI will reduce our cognitive thinking. Like in most schools, they still think that allowing the students to use AI will not allow them to do well. But the problem is that the students are also using AI to solve most of the assignments they are being given to today. So why are we not implementing it? But again, our leaders don't pay attention to research. If we pay attention to research as part of the development of our economy, I believe AI wouldn't, subscribing to AI tools wouldn't have been a problem. So yeah, that's where that's what I can say for now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Strategic planning and how this fits into economic development or societal development. Thank you so much for that. Chris, do you want to say something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
You. Yes, sir. What I want to say is that I am doing this from attitudinal point of view. You know, when you say a country is third world, it is not called third for a reason. It's called third for it's not just called third for no reason. This our attitude of always being late at technology, embracing technology. When others are like this area you are talking about now, are things that have been invoked as early as 50s. Countries have been into AI as early as 50s, but now we are just battling with adopting whether we should accept ChatGPT, cloud, and the rest of them now. Now, and also this AI, we are not just limiting it on, even though we are focusing on learning and research, there are other aspects of AI. Like thousands of people of companies we know are employing people now. They are doing tasks, uploading them to websites where they are teaching, train their AI robots on how to carry out domestic tasks. What I'm thinking is there has to be education, proper education and sensitization, because sometimes what you don't know, you don't believe in it. And also, our religious background has a way of affecting our thinking in this part of the world. There are people that believe that AI is something that has to do with satanic, Satan, and is not something that some religious faithful should adopt. I've read a lot of things. People, they want you and not that. So these things are one mindset, two attitudinal issues. And for us to embrace this, this kind of discussion should be coming up, and people have to be part of it. People have to be sensitized, government agencies and individuals and research institutions and universities, that this thing has to, let it not be that we will now start settling on it by 2100, when other words have moved to other things. By the time we start accepting AI, other words may have merged robotics and AI, because that's obviously the next thing. Right now, there's still that demarcation. They have not really fused together. By the time other words have brought in robotic technology with AI and they are doing wonders, that is when we now begin to consider AI. So as in proper sensitization and education just have to be carried out for our people to see that these things have come to stay. The only thing we should be concerned now is how to, the security aspect of it, like I said earlier, the security aspect of it, because when it falls into maybe wrong hands, can be dangerous. And we are just talking about, what about the generic ones? So these are issues that people have to be sensitized. The younger ones have to be taught, and we believe that as we are doing that, they are going to acclimatize. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That aspect of technology adoption and attitude is really another perspective of it. Audrey, please go ahead.
All right. All protocol duly observed. It's just a quick one that this AI, the institution, I also want to say that part of the reason is just the leadership. Let's say, for instance, an institution, the leadership of that institution. If we have a visionary leader or a vice chancellor of that institution, he will not be waiting for other institutions or Africa to adopt it, or not other institutions to agree whether to use it or not to use it. Most of these private institutions in our country, particularly in Nigeria, if you go to their schools, they are not even arguing whether to use it or not. They are teaching their students how to use it correctly. Even over here in UK, because I'm currently in UK, a research student at Robert Gordon University in Scotland. They will in fact, the first class is for them to discourage you on the use of AI. But deep down, is even them that are lecturers, please, I don't know how to put it because it's on record. They are also using it to facilitate their work, but they have mastered how to use it. Then in my former school, University of Greater Manchester, after the supervision, our supervisor called us, the people that he supervised, and now started telling us about this AI, that AI has come to stay. That what we should be doing is to learn how to use this AI in an effective manner. That there is another new generation. What we are seeing now is there's another new generation of AI that is coming that will be smarter than men. That is what she told us. So institutions like my place of work in Ebonyi State, David Umahi Federal University. He has already partners with my former school, University of Greater Manchester, the Center of Artificial Intelligence, trying to teach like the school. The Center of Intelligence is already training our students over there in Ubru on how to use this AI, carrying out research and all that. So for me, I think is a leader in that institution, whether in banking sector, whether in a higher institution, or whether in a business that is visionary, that will also help that organization that is operating to embrace this AI. And once they embrace this AI, it will be far much better in their productivity compared to others.
Thank you so much. That leadership angle is a big one. I'm conscious of our time. If I can give maybe two minutes to those raising hand, please go ahead quickly. Your name is not appearing. 359717. Please go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if that is C.
Yes, please go ahead, please.
Okay, you see, the implementation of AI infrastructure it goes hand in hand with the national development. So just as we are less developed, we should expect less development in AI, in the use of AI. Now, it starts with national policies. Most of our governments don't have national policies on AI. Talk less coming down to educational policies on the use of AI and others. And most universities also don't have these policies localized. And most secondary schools and even lower level schools don't have this policy. So I believe the first step that is important in having effective use or implementation of this AI infrastructure is to have a national policy backed by law on how this infrastructure can be used to enhance research, teaching, and learning in our higher education system in Africa. I think which is the first step. Then when you have the policy, which is from the policy that you can have a strategic plan, then you can have tactical plans and short-term plans, and this will assist in the implementation process. So I think this is my take on this.
Thank you so much. Evaristus, quickly, please. After you, we can go to the next prompt. Evaristus. Okay. Seems the hand is down. Okay, let's go to the next prompt. Dr. Atieme, are you back to you?
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so the next and the final prompt is on policies on AI in Africa are better handled at the national level. That's the first argument. And policies on AI in Africa are better handled at the regional or continental level. So as part of the conversation, what do we think in terms of the models of AI policies that should be enacted by African countries such that it will facilitate research, teaching, and learning? Which of these models will actually yield outcome that can move a nation forward? I will yield the mic, and of course, feel free to raise your hand if you like to comment on this topic. I can see a hand already raised. I don't know if it's from the previous session, from the previous prompt rather. Evaristus, did you want to make a contribution to the current topic? Okay, whilst we are putting our thoughts together, I think the last session was very interesting because one point that one of the speakers mentioned is the fact that Africa does not need to be left behind. Very often we are left behind. Is it in terms of vaccine, where we had a global pandemic Africa was the last to receive vaccines, were only an afterthought. So it's very important that proactive measures are being taken at the national level. So what policies can be made? What sort of regional collaborations can be made that will allow the effective implementation of AI approaches in our countries, especially in our higher educations of learning, and what sort of infrastructure as well as specific policies that can actually move things forward. If anyone wants to comment on this, please, you may indicate by raising a hand.
Um,
Yes, Engineer Chris.
All right. There's a rather a way I'm viewing it. Policies. When you are talking about policy, making policy on this AI issue, the way I'm looking at it is somehow like there are some things that making policy on looks. I don't know how to put it. I almost, for lack of words, maybe vague. I think there are certain things that encouragement and persuasion are better adopted than passing a policy. For example, are you going to make a policy that every higher institution, maybe of learning or research centers, should use AI or have a touch of AI in their work and all that? Are you going to enforce everybody to install maybe certain AI applications? Or so I don't know. There's a way I'm looking at it, but that's why I believe that education is it will be a very good approach, because if you pass the policy, there are certain policies that when you pass on, it look as if you, I don't know, it's not, is even education itself is not a policy. Like nobody is enforced to go to school. It's not like you pass a policy that you must go to school. Even though certain countries, they can make their basic education to be compulsory and all that, but at the end you discover it's not really like a full policy. Rather, people are encouraged, people are persuaded, people are sensitized, people are pushed on, and benefits are being exposed to you, what you have stand to gain if you don't use if you make use of this, and where you are going to see yourself if you don't do this. And it is through education that education has reached where it is today. Let me explain. What I mean is through sensitization, encouragement, making people to go to school, that has made literacy to be where it is now, where some countries like Canada have reached 90-something% literacy. They were not there, and I don't think it was really policy that made it. People were encouraged, even in Nigeria. People were encouraged to go to school.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I think those are very, very important points. However, I just wanted to also add a comment that when we talk in terms of AI, it's not restricted generally to the use of LLMs, large language models. AI encompasses a broader perspective. For example, in the UK is fighting very hard to ensure that they become an AI epicenter, and they are signing contracts with various companies. So in terms of policies, example, institutions, what are they doing such that AI can be used to enhance what the institution does? So when we discuss in terms of AI, we're not actually referring only to individuals using Claude or ChatGPT or any of those models. Rather, we are thinking of how AI can be used to rejuvenate a whole sector. So it's in that context. And for me, personally, I would think of AI as something that the higher education institutions will need to bet something and that could potentially be enhanced by the federal or national levels to actually support those measures that can be taken at institutional levels. I think I'll move on to Wilson. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity again. What I want to say is this. I think the policies shouldn't be centralized. It shouldn't just be at the national level. It should be decentralized. I mean, regionally. Every region should put a policy on how to make use of AI. What I'm saying is this: there are some institutions. I mean, if you go to institutions, there are some institutions that are more research inclined than others, and they know where AI comes in their work. It happens in the UK too. There are some institutions. For instance, my institution, they have given access to the use of co-pilots to both staff and students. Where I did my master's, there was nothing like that. They didn't give access to the use of AI in their research work. So now that's what I'm saying. It should be institutional, it should be regional, because probably in the use of AI, what is good for Uganda may not be good for the goods. So it shouldn't be regional. I mean, it shouldn't be at the national level only. It should be decentralized. So everyone makes a decision on the use of AI, because AI, like you said, encompasses just the large language models, because the ethical considerations are very, very important. I think that's one thing that happens in the Western country. Before you use AI, you think about the ethical, the ethics. I mean, how much is it going to affect the people? How much bias is it going to create? And will the people be ready to accept it? I mean, how much of effect is going to have on the people that will be using the AI? So if those things are taken into considerations, then I think it is important that such policies are made. And I believe that if they are made, the regions or the institutions will be, or especially the institutions that are sponsored by at the national level, they should be able to incorporate AI infrastructures in their educational system. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Prof. Sand is also up. If you have the floor, because your name is not written here, so I'm struggling. I think it just has 34. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't log in properly. That's right.
No, it's all right.
Thank you very much. I think this is wonderful. However, my thinking is policies have different perspectives on different sectors of the economy. There are sectors where you promote the full implementation of AI. There are sectors where you control the use of AI. There are so many issues involved in AI, in the use of AI. Like in education sector, we try to control how it's being used, but in manufacturing and other service sectors, we may push for full implementation of AI. So I think these policies should be national policies, and it should also come with incentives. We should also consider AI, developing our own AI development centers, where we can also, because AI is beyond just consumption. It's also about revenue generation. So we can look at it from both perspectives. Government can come with the policies, with grants to support centers, research centers, to come up with individuals, to come up with AI, how to create a revenue profile of the country in terms of AI revenue generation. So I think decentralizing will create a sort of goal incongruence for the country. So I still believe that the AI policy should be a national policy, which can now go down to various sectors and units of the country. And the policy should also focus on both consumption and development and revenue generation, and also should focus on sector specific, where it is where grants should be where they should be supported with grants to use AI, where controls should be put in place. So I think the policy will better be at the national level, so that it will encompass and various perspectives on the use and development, revenue generation, and so. So I believe the policy should be a national policy, well coordinated, that promotes the development of a particular country. For instance, Nigeria. Where do you want to be? What AIs? How do we support our local researchers to also come up with AIs to compete with these developed countries? I think these are things that this national policy should look forward on how to develop AI in our own society. So this is my short contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. I think those are very, very, very useful points. The need for national direction to ensure that these policies are bedded locally at specific institutions where we are able to develop our own AI models. So those sort of policies will be very, very useful. And also at institutional levels, institutions should have direct, clear policies on the use of AI. Again, this is something that is still not well polished even in developed countries. Even in the UK, most UK universities are still do not have a clear policy on the use of AI. It's something that everyone is reacting to. So African institutions also have to think of how they will have their own policies at their own institutions. And of course, companies and also experts are willing to actually help African institutions to actually ensure that this sort of policies are produced. And of course, that can then be fed into national, any form of national policies that could arise. I think we have run out of time. So I can see, I don't know if Chris's hand, if it's a legacy hand, I think it's been there, but I don't know. One call, Evaristus, I'll give you about a minute if you want to add to this.
All right, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I'm sorry again for, I just had to switch my device. But again, while we are thinking policy in this aspect, we should also consider valued orientation, because that's where I see there is a challenge when it comes to Nigeria, when it comes to Africa, because a lot of ideas have been brought home, but it was killed at the spot of bringing it home. AI is there, AI is good, but there are tools and other things that infrastructures that need to be put in place for that AI to actually function. Because I know that country has everything that it takes for a country to stand well in terms of IT infrastructure, in terms of electricity and the rest. But when these things and the people that are handling it are not doing the right thing or just being self-centered, it does push people back. Instead of bringing good ideas that they have seen outside, bringing it home, it will give them a push like, if I am bringing this thing home, how long is it going to last? What's the chances of being sustained for over time? So I think the way we think, I think from this point, we need to keep preaching to whoever that is next to you that actually value the things that others do as much as you value your own things. And not just leaving everything for government, because when it comes to Nigeria, Nigeria has the best of policies and the best of laws, but the implementation is where the problem lies. So thank you for the opportunity, and that's where I have to nail my point. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think, and with that, we have highlighted some of the burning discourse around this very, very important topic on the use of AI in higher education in Africa. I think on the next slide, as you can already see, we are calling for submission and reviewers on a special issue titled Artificial Intelligence Implementation Strategies for Developing Countries. Doctor, did you want to mute everyone, please?
That's what.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So these are, of course, issues like this are expected in an online call, so we apologize for that. So we are calling for papers for this special issue, and it's the guest editor is Dr. Aliu Dala, who is an academic at Sheffield Hallam University here in the UK. So if colleagues here and if you know someone that is interested in this area, please do well to get in touch. And of course, we are now calling for submission. And if you are in this area and you also like to be a reviewer, we are also looking for reviewers in this area, so we can add you to our pool of reviewers. And I think with that, I can pass on the mic to Dr. Ogbonnaya, if you want to add anything or move on to the next slide, so we can. Yeah.
Yes. What I want to add is that I'm the editor-in-chief of Dialogic STEM Journal. And the whole idea of Dialogic Academic Publishing is to enable us to start having conversations. I do not believe that what we've had this morning is not beneficial. I think that by the time we start aggregating ideas, having conversations, collaborating, networking, and then going out there to influence institutions and governments, that change we are looking for will come. So please feel free to engage with the publication platform, because the idea is to make it accessible to Africans so that they can contribute to creating knowledge. So you are all welcome to participate in these activities. And the last slide is actually to call on people to, facilitate this type of conversation. So Dialogic Academic Press and Dialogic Solutions Limited, we make it accessible to you to create a topic that is of interest to different sectors of people in the community, and they will reach them, bring them so that we can have the conversation. You can also join the editorial board of Dialogic Academic Presses. We currently have 2 journals, Dialogic STEM Journal, which publishes articles in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and Dialogic Society Journal, which publishes articles in arts and humanities. I think that is an opportunity for peer mentoring and also mentoring younger generations and supporting peer learning. When we review articles, guide people to do quality research. I think that is the whole essence of this. So I want to say a big thank you. And Dr. Atieme, I don't know whether you want to thank our participants this morning. I think I've been enriched, this morning. I think I yield to you to say thank you to them and then close us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ogbonnaya. So thanks everyone for joining this maiden edition of Dialogic Dialogue, and I think it's been a very, very eye-opening conversation. It's very useful to get multiple perspectives, and like we said from the beginning, this is not an exhaustive conversation. We just want to whet your appetite, and of course, you should look up to more and more interesting conversations coming from Dialogic Dialogue. And we will be at your institutions, we will be around. So please, if you need people that will help you, Dialogic Dialogue, as well as Dialogic Solutions Limited, we are very interested in supporting universities in policy creation and the deployment of new technologies as well as new tools. So we look forward to hearing from you, and of course, please feel free to get in touch. And thank you so much for your contribution. And I hope you have a lovely day wherever you have joined from. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you.